Oh, wow. This really is a pretty tropical kind of place, isn't it? Oh, wow. Tropical enemies. What is that? Some kind of bat? I think so. Oh! Nice try. Oh. Come on, that totally hit it! This is getting ridiculous. But it's fine, because we have so much health at this point because of all the leveling up we've done. Oh. This is so many enemies all at once. They're like stone idols. It's kind of odd. I mean, not the idea of an idol being made out of stone. That's not what's odd. It's kind of odd that... Oh. You're throwing bombs. You're like those goblins I met before, but you're throwing bombs instead of rocks. Well, I hope you don't mind me saying so, but you're not the bomb. I do not think you're the bomb. That was really bad. These enemies are getting tough, though. Must be because they're made out of rock. Okay, this is going to be a difficult one. But nothing is too difficult for the master. Just have to be a little more careful here. And these ones who shoot out the blow darts, you have to jump over them. That's what you gotta do with them. You gotta jump. Just keep swinging the sword and they'll go away. After a fashion. They jump too often. I thought that I might be able to get around it if it were, you know, jumping slowly enough, but... Oh, the little explosions! Is that what those white flashes were at the top of the screen a moment ago? Alright, who's next? Huh? You? Yes, you. You gotta keep in mind that these bluish ones are the ones that shoot out the darts. So you can't just go swinging at them. Whoa, 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 whoa! It's one of those, I forget what they're called, but one of those things where the face is on its chest. Well, I gotta say, they take some good inspiration for their enemies, at least. This is really going into the whole, you know, the pagan tribes are worshipping demons kind of deal. Because these enemies are clearly all themed around, sort of, tribal-ish, monsters. Kind of enemies. Like the, creatures without the heads where their face is on their... or I guess rather that their heads is their torso. Those are, based off of an old, obviously false... account of Africa written by an Englishman. So, I mean, that's certainly... there's something a little, imperialistic going on here, is what I'm trying to say. Well... wish I'd gotten that a minute ago. That's fine, because we have as many tries as it's going to take us. Because we're the master. I don't appreciate how your demon spears are able to lengthen themselves like that. It's really kind of strange seeing those spears suddenly sprout as though they're living things. Oh. Who's the next demon, huh? Really, where is it? Oh! It's a demon plant! I have to say, very few of those actually hit anything. Well, please, let one of these hit. Just not even one. Hey, can I attack the arm? No, I can't. Cannot attack the arm. Attacking the arm is futile. Jumping over the arm is futile. What can I even do, then? I guess just hope. That's what I gotta do. Kinda like my real faith in God. Just gotta hope. Okay, just hold on. Oh, even those bulbs they shoot out have arms. That's gross. Oh, and they shoot out more at once, huh? They must be the seeds of these demon flowers. Well, demon flower, goodbye. You suppose the plant is a naturally occurring thing, or... Of course it's not. The Master did not create that plant. It was a plant warped and misshapen by Satan. At least the land here is very pretty. I'm not into these kind of humid places myself, but I'm sure it's nice. Sir Hashem, Marahna may become a land where people can live in peace. All right, my master, let us work towards peace. No, it's not unexpected, my cherub. Oh, master, although a beautiful island, Marahna is covered with palm trees and seems so small. Would you destroy some of the palm trees? That was a rather unpoetic request, but of course I will. They need places to live after all, and then they can sow their own palm trees, growing them along their avenues in a way that will be very attractive. It'll be a very aesthetically pleasing island. People will go here for vacations. Well, something like that. That was the wrong selection. Let's try that again, and this time, use the correct miracle. Ah, man. You'd think I would have gotten down the controls by now instead of having to relearn them every single time. But nope. Nope. Oh, I see. Marahna is multiple islands. It's like an archipelago or something. There's marsh here, and forest, and palm trees. I suppose they're actually salt marshes, since we are, after all, in the ocean. People of Marahna, it's time to begin building. Just follow my lead, and you'll be fine. The demons have definitely become a little more active, I feel like. All these flying demons, I mean. They're very large. Do you suppose they're to scale? Like, is this cherub really this big, or is it just really high up? The demons must be to scale, actually, because they're able to carry people away. The bat ones are, that is. I suppose because the demons are living off of human souls, and it enables them to, and enables them to grow more demons. Those demon bats who are carrying away the people in the first area back in Fillmore. I guess they were carrying those people away to be used in the propagation of these other demon dens around the world. These people are brave, being willing to build like this even in the midst of constant demonic onslaughts. Oh, Master, a temple has suddenly appeared in Marahna. People are saying they built it to worship you, but I sense something is wrong. The temple is the only building the monsters have not tried to destroy. That makes me very uneasy. I hope nothing happens. Where's the temple? Where is it? I mean, I'm not seeing this temple. In any case, yeah, they must be worshipping a false deity. That is very, the idea that there's a false god is, of course, a very, very, classical Europe kind of ideal. Or classical, I suppose, Abrahamic religion sort of ideal, not just Europe. It's nice seeing our people become so independent. And what did they find this one, huh? A strange statue. This will be helpful. It will help us defend your city. There's one over here, isn't there? Yeah. Well, the bats are hardly our biggest worries. I'd say these, blue dragons are. Music to my ears, my cherub. Oh, by the way, he's so casual. I like that about him. Now, you know, I understand that the whole, idea of, that, you know, you're gonna decide that some of the Bible you want to follow and others is just corrupt nonsense, which I was expounding earlier. I understand that's kind of self-serving. They've already turned against me, huh? I believe the shrine may be the cause of this change of heart. This is a problem we must solve on our own. I just thought you should know. Oh, there's their temple. How could they not be aware? How could they not be grateful to us after all we've done for them? Now, it's true, of course, that a lot of them have died to the demons, and after all we did lose initially to them, but it can be obvious, it should be obvious, that in the long run, which one of us really has their best interests at heart? I mean, I don't want to be like the Old Testament God and rule through constant terror. Not only is that not a very stable basis for any regime, but it doesn't quite seem like what you should be doing if you're really all-powerful and all-good. Which, obviously, as I was saying, those are kinda mutually exclusive. You can't be both of those things. It just doesn't make any sense to proclaim you could be both of those things. You know, we never got another one of those special skulls that let us seal up demon dens like we got back in Bloodpool, have we? Anyway, so I understand that idea of kind of selectively choosing what you're going to do is kinda self-serving, it's kinda pathetic. In a way, it's almost worse than just saying I'm going to blindly follow, because it seems to imply you don't really believe in it. And maybe that's true. Maybe I am really just that sort of pathetic and abased. And yet, well, it's how I am. It's how I am. What else have they found there, my cherub? My master, we have found a strange bow and some arrows. I don't think I'm going to need it. There are no skull heads in this island, which I admit I'm kind of surprised about. I would have expected to see a really heavy onslaught of monsters in this area, since after all, this is the final area, and I assume where Satan is hiding out. I understand that they're calling him something else in this game, but I don't remember what they're calling him. And in the original Japanese version, it's just Satan, so it's fine. And let's see then. More sun. Anyway, I think I'm at least aware of the shortcomings of my, I don't know, perspectives on life. And in a way, perhaps that makes it worse. Because I continue to do what I understand is very well just wrong, even though I can think about, I can see that, I can understand how you would hold that perspective on it. Maybe it's worse to hold on to some old superstition when you're an educated person than when you're not. It certainly is, I guess, but... Oh, Master, because of the many plagues here in Marahna, we should never be without medical herbs. May we present this herb as an offering to you this year. If any other lands suffer from plagues as we do, please offer this herb to them. Oh! What? Already something else, too? Very well. My master, we would like to extend our town to the island northwest of here. Is there any way to make the channel and the island into a part of our continent? Oh, we're finally going to use our earthquake, aren't we? Well, alright, very well. But first, you know what I'm gonna do first? I'm going to go cure that plague. Oh wait, I just realized I forgot to get the herb. Oh no. You see, it's a much more sympathetic view of God if you think of God as not being, omnipotent. Because if God is all-powerful and almighty and all that, and lets all these horrible things happen anyway, well, that couldn't mean, you know, as I've said over and over, these are irreconcilable. These are irreconcilable differences, and I know the idea is they always say, oh, you know, this is just all part of God's design, we don't see the big picture. That's just nonsense. That's just wishful thinking is all that is. It's true, we can't see the whole grand scheme of how this one individual is going to affect, you know, who his great-great-great-grandson or whatever is gonna be. But, all the same, I mean, I can be pretty sure that, you know, this random teenage girl doesn't need to be tortured to death. That happened, actually. There's this really horrific case in Japan, but I don't want to talk about that. If there were an almighty and all-good being, that kind of stuff, that wouldn't happen. Anyway, you are welcome, my subjects, for, you know, for letting me, for me taking those. The herb. I wonder what kind of herb it is. Well, in any case, it's a medicinal one, and I'm assuming we're giving them the seeds that they may cultivate it themselves and never again suffer from this plague. With this, the people will no longer be afflicted with the plague. You're welcome. And now their town will expand even further. Their growth has been stymied for so long because, well, because of what's happened to them. But what's this up here, though? This Nazca shape. I'm going to try blowing up this rock. I have a feeling that there might be something hidden beneath it, given its suggestive placement. Nope, nothing happened. How odd. That's rain that washes away the sand, right? Yes. Let this town expand outwards as much as possible, I say. I know before I was hesitant to destroy the desert biome, but I suspect these fields were not always desert. I suspect that, once upon a time, before the humans came here long ago, long before the demons overran the earth, that their overgrazing of animals ended up destroying these fields. And so we will reverse the desertification process, which really is a miracle. One more. The issue is, if we let the population become too big, it won't be, the growth may no longer be sustainable. Wait, my chair? This way. And now, they'll expand their town further. Now that they're no longer afflicted with the plague, they'll be able to. They'll grow huge quantities of wheat. Well, anyway, I'll be on my way then, my people. This is a strange little valley here. Never have gone there, and I suppose we never will. Back to Marahna. Anyway, even if I am self-serving, well, it's how I am. And I don't really have any desire to change that, and I won't. So how did the people even get out this far from their city to build this temple? That's an enormous temple, too. It looks... I mean, that's as big as a little town. Or, I guess it's not, because it's only about... It's the size of about 4 of these houses. So, really not so big at all. Yes, they do know how to build bridges. Good. I would think so. The way the Islanders will have to live will be very different from the way, say, that those Northlanders live. Good, thank you. I believe the final monster's lair must be located on the island northwest of here. Is there any way to raise the continent and connect the two together? The final monster's lair, huh? I know you just said it was on that other island, but I have a feeling that we're gonna find something on this island here. Oh, well, I have to wait a minute then before I, Oh, I see, they're building sort of barns now. Or not, those aren't barns exactly, but... Very well. We will cause an earthquake. So they requested it, and so I've brought it upon them. It's true that this is a very grim transformation of their city. Indeed, it's the destruction of their city altogether. But now they must rebuild. Do not go asking me for miracles without being able to pay the price. And anyway, now you're going to learn that this island is a volcanic island. It's subject to frequent tremors because it is near the border of a convergent plate. It is subject to frequent tremors because it is subject to frequent tremors because it is on a convergent plate boundary. And you're going to need to learn the importance of building earthquake-proof cities. And your newer, more stable building techniques will enable them to withstand future occurrences of this type. I'm surprised they only have one... No, they have two fields where they're cultivating crops. I would think they'd need more than that, but... Very well. Yeah, you have to follow the routes of the roads. Here we are. We're going to keep developing it this way until we get up here. They will expand the city just as they wished to, onto this, what was formerly a separate island from theirs. You know, it would be good if I could introduce wheat to them, but I've already used all the wheat crop, I think. What does that? So what does the hourglass icon signify anyway? Oh, I see. Is it like the amount of time before you get SP back? I'm not quite sure. In any case, the population here is very small. Probably because so many of them died in that earthquake, and they wasn't really a big population to begin with. I guess it's gone then. Once they're knocked off the screen, that's it. That's the end of them. The final monster's lair. Victory is within sight, my cherub. An end to this war, at least for now. I mean, it definitely is an at least for now kind of circumstance. I mean, you know, then there's Soul Blazer after this. They say the best of the sort of Soul Blazer or ActRaiser series is probably Terranigma. But I probably will not play Terranigma anytime soon because the you know, official English translation is just too hideously clunky looking. And that particularly detracts from such a, I suppose you might say, heavy kind of video game. I don't need a much higher population in order to level up. And yet, doesn't look like the population here is going to expand, does it? Actually, no. First, we must burn down these trees and reveal the final monster's lair. The lair from which these red demons are spawning. I'm still pretty sure the red demons don't actually attack the town, which is pretty strange. They certainly are doing something malevolent, but... My people, take out the final demon's lair. We will draw Satan out of his hiding place. He will have to emerge once this lair is gone. I still think there's a problem when you're talking about civilizational levels. Sir Hashem, I know it's unexpected, but our people in Marahna have something to tell you. Sir Hashem, no one seems to be here. Could it be that those two have also had their hearts drawn away by the evil powers? Sir Hashem, you must enter the shrine and fight to save your people. Is that why the population has been vanishing? Oh, I see. Oh, they're still expanding, though. They're expanding under the auspices of an evil religion. It's probably like Moloch, who wants them to sacrifice their children to it. I'm surprised we didn't get a third kind of magic at some point. We will save this. We will keep a record of these events. For though they're painful to see, to hear about, if the world forgets, then these mistakes will be repeated. Such is the fate of humans. May luck be with you. Wow, isn't this getting exciting? Fighting demons and such, and that guy who's me, but in the past, sort of muttering to himself about God for a few minutes. Yeah, this is some exciting stuff. But I thought that maybe... I know that I've mentioned this a bit already, but I'd like to go into a little more detail about the ActRaiser or Soulblazer series. Of course, it starts with ActRaiser, Quintet's first game. Then they made Soulblader, which inexplicably was retitled the Soulblazer for the international market. Why? I mean, both titles are like nonsense. Anyway, this one's about a warrior who the god from ActRaiser sends down to Earth to resurrect a kingdom that's been destroyed by demons. I believe the plot is still relatively simple, but there is already more complex than ActRaiser. I believe that the nameless divine warrior falls in love with a human woman named Lisa, and somehow it turns out that the humans are the ones responsible for the demons returning. Then there is ActRaiser 2, which is like ActRaiser, except not at all like ActRaiser, because they completely do away with the city management segments, so that it's only a side-scrolling adventure. It's a prequel to ActRaiser, involving the Master's war against Satan. There are demons representing the 7 deadly sins and a trip to the Tower of Babel. Normally, ActRaiser and ActRaiser 2 are justifiably not included with the other games because they're totally different genres in terms of gameplay. The rest of the series are Zelda-likes, but obviously ActRaiser and ActRaiser 2 are not, but I'd still put them into the same series because thematically they just seem too similar. Then we have Illusion of Time, also known as Illusion of Gaia. This one is much more story-driven. I think it was actually written by a novelist. The main character is a boy named Will, who has visions of the god of the world named Gaia, and he has a big, exciting adventure. He makes friends, goes to exotic places. His father was a treasure hunter who disappeared in the Tower of Babel, and I kind of wonder, is this meant to be the same Tower of Babel from ActRaiser 2? There's a whole elaborate plot in it, though, and I don't really know the whole thing. Maybe there's some resurrection going on there, too. Then we have Slapstick, or Robotrek, which is not part of this series. It's just like a wacky robot managing game that Quintet made to sort of branch out, I guess. Afterwards, we get to what is perhaps the greatest, and certainly the most ambitious of the series, Terranigma, which is the completely awful, garbage, nonsense B-movie sounding rubbish title that it got when it came out in Europe. The actual title, I believe, is something more like The Resurrection of the Heavens and Earth, which I'm not sure what kind of image that draws to mind, but it certainly sounds better than Terranigma. In any case, in this video game, a young man named Ark lives in this village where he's kind of the local troublemaker, but when he opens Pandora's box, the village is like destroyed, and he embarks on this huge, epic, multi-billion-year spanning journey to resurrect the continents one by one, and all the animals, and all the plants, and all the people, and human civilizations. But it's certainly a huge and unique title, and I think a fitting capstone to the series, carrying on these themes of resurrection and deities. However, Hardcore Gaming 101 adds another game to this series, which I really know almost nothing about. It's called the Ganstream Saga. I think that's how you'd say that. And I think it's pretty similar to the other ones. There are some full anime-style cutscenes in it, too. In any case, that's just a little statement on them that I wanted to do here. I don't know why, I just do this kind of stuff sometimes. Maybe someday I'll be doing something with some actual artistic merit instead of this. You know, more often.